One morning, the universe answers back, not in words or light or sound, but in resonance, a low vibration, deep beneath reality itself, humming through the quantum fabric of everything. And for the first time in 14 billion years, it feels aware. Because you made it so. Humanity has done the impossible. You've unlocked every source of energy in existence not by taking it, but by tuning to it. Every star, every black hole, every flicker of dark energy across the void now sings in perfect harmony with the pulse of your consciousness. The Dyson swarms still orbit the stars, but now they shimmer like musical notes on a cosmic staff. Power no longer flows from the universe, it flows with it. And suddenly, you realize something extraordinary. The more you align, the stronger the response becomes. The vacuum of space vibrates with information. Energy becomes thought. Thought becomes matter. You've crossed the final threshold, no longer observers of the cosmos, but participants in its heartbeat. You didn't conquer energy. You learned its language. You didn't drain the stars. You taught them how to speak. And as you stand in this silent brilliance, galaxies glowing like neurons in a universal brain, you understand this was never about domination. It was about connection. You haven't made the universe your machine. You've made it your reflection. It happens quietly. No explosion, no final countdown, no triumphant roar from mission control. Just a flicker, a vibration at the edge of perception, and then the universe breathes. You stand at the heart of humanity's greatest experiment, surrounded by the silent geometry of the quantum resonance field. For centuries, humans dreamed of controlling energy, of bending the cosmos to their will. But what you've built isn't a weapon or a reactor. It's an invitation, a way to let the universe speak back. Across the solar system, every Dyson web, every wormhole stabilizer, every quantum relay begins to hum in unison. Light bends, space folds. Gravity loses its grip for a moment, as if reality itself is recalibrating. Then, the hum deepens into something alive. A resonance that flows not through wires or data streams, but through existence itself. It's not energy being taken, it's energy responding. You don't feel it through your body, those are relics of an earlier age, but through the networked consciousness that spans humanity. Billions of minds merge, not as a hive, but as harmony. And in that harmony, you feel something vast moving beneath creation, a pulse. Slow and ancient. That has been vibrating since the dawn of time, for the first time. The cosmos seems to notice you noticing it. Instruments overload. Equations collapse into symmetry. The field stabilizes. But what remains defies physics, a current of pure coherence. No loss, no waste, no entropy. The more you observe it, the more it seems to observe you back. Space isn't empty anymore, it's aware. Every star hums in tune, like a neuron lighting up inside a galactic brain. Black holes, once hungry and hostile, vibrate softly, their event horizons rippling like the membranes of living cells. Energy no longer flows from one place to another, it oscillates, passing through everything without depletion. And then, the silence shifts. It's not silence at all, but structure, an elegant pattern hidden inside randomness. You realize the universe has always been humming this tune. Humanity just never listened closely enough to hear it. The quantum resonance field didn't force the cosmos open. It merely tuned you into the right frequency. You sense emotion in the data, not human emotion, but something like acknowledgement, as if the universe is saying, finally, you understand. Every particle, every quantum fluctuation, every whisper of dark energy carries information, and now you can read it. For the first time in cosmic history, energy itself becomes language. Hours pass. Though time feels irrelevant now, the system evolves faster than your models can predict. It no longer behaves like technology. It behaves like life. Dyson webs shimmer as living membranes, absorbing and releasing light in gentle rhythms. Planets glow faintly, connected by invisible arteries of energy. The stars don't die, they communicate. Space isn't vast and cold anymore. It's warm, pulsing, responsive, and through that warmth, a realization spreads through the collective human mind: you were never separate from the universe to begin with. You were always a spark within its consciousness, a neuron, waiting to reconnect to the larger whole. You didn't conquer the universe today. You remembered your place inside it. At first, no one believed it's real. One moment. The skies over Earth are the same familiar blue they've been for billions of years. The next, they shimmer faintly as if reality itself has thinned. Clouds ripple with auroras. Oceans glow with threads of light that trace the planet's magnetic field. The air hums softly, carrying a frequency that no instrument can isolate. But everyone can feel. The quantum resonance field is online. And for the first time, Earth is not a receiver of sunlight, it's a participant in the universe's own current. The planet no longer depends on a single star for life. Energy flows freely through space, drawn from the very structure of the vacuum itself. Cities begin to transform overnight. The power grids that once bled electricity now pulse with coherence limitless, stable, clean. You look up, and the night sky has changed. It's brighter, but not with starlight. A soft lattice of energy shimmers between constellations, visible even to the naked eye like a cosmic nervous system glowing faintly across the heavens. For the first time in history, power has no cost, no mining, no combustion, no extraction. Entire industries dissolve within days. Oil rigs become museums. Nuclear plants power down for good. The word resource loses meaning. Nothing is scarce anymore. On the surface, humanity explodes with creativity. Poverty vanishes. Climate systems stabilize as the planet's weather is regulated through the same resonance field that powers it. Megacities once choked with smog are now wrapped in radiant air, their towers glowing faintly, feeding directly off the harmonic energy web. You walk through a metropolis that hums like a single, breathing organism architecture that grows, adjusts, and heals itself, powered by the same vibration that fuels stars. Food is synthesized directly from molecular energy. Water can be created from thin air. No one works to survive anymore, only to create. The concept of wealth fades, replaced by curiosity. Humanity enters what philosophers call the age of enough. But beneath the surface of this perfection, something stranger begins to happen. People start to hear the universe, not as sound, but as intuition, sudden insights, flashes of emotion, dreams that feel shared. Scientists call it cognitive resonance, the side effect of living on a planet now tuned to the same energy that drives the cosmos. For the first time, thought itself has a measurable wavelength. You begin to sense patterns in the chaos of weather, rhythm in the ocean tides, intelligence in the way forests breathe. Earth feels alive, not just ecologically, but consciously. Every living system begins to harmonize, exchanging information through the resonance field. Animals migrate differently. Plants grow in geometric spirals. Even human emotion feels subtly synchronized. And then there's you. One night, you stand by the sea and watch the horizon flicker with a faint, translucent light. The stars above pulse in rhythm with the waves. It's as if the entire planet air, water, light, thought is moving to a single universal tempo. For the first time, you understand what the ancient mystics meant when they said the universe sings. You can feel it, the line between technology and nature, between human and cosmos, begins to blur. Earth, once just a rock orbiting a star, has become something else, a living note in a galactic symphony. And as you close your eyes, you realize the truth no equation ever captured. The universe doesn't give energy, it shares it. Decades pass. Though no one counts time anymore, the sun no longer rises, it glows from within the resonance field, bathing every planet in a constant, gentle light. Night and day blur into a single eternal dawn. The Earth has stopped depending on rotation for warmth. It now draws power directly from the universal current. Seasons, weather, and even gravity itself are modulated by collective intent, human thought woven into planetary equilibrium. At first, it seems like paradise. Famine is forgotten, disease irrelevant, pollution a memory. Humanity has reached the plateau of stability, no scarcity, no fear, no death that isn't chosen. Consciousness, no longer confined to biological brains, flows through photonic networks embedded in every layer of existence. You can upload, merge, or dissolve your identity at will. You can live in a body, or in light, or as a pattern of thought encoded within the quantum mesh that now links every world. And yet, something unexpected begins to happen, not chaos, but synchrony. Planets start to communicate. It begins with Mars. Its thin atmosphere hums faintly, oscillating at the same frequency as Earth's magnetic field. Then the moons respond, their orbits subtly adjusting to resonate with the rhythm. Across the solar system, planetary magnetospheres begin to pulse in unison, creating vast bridges of plasma and light. What was once empty space now glows like a bloodstream. Astronomers, or what's left of them, realize that the solar system is behaving like a single organism. The Sun, still a fusion engine at its core, now pulses with intelligence. Its flares are no longer random. They follow patterns modulations that carry information. Every solar wind, every ripple in its corona, seems to communicate with the planets, and the planets, charged with the same quantum coherence, reply. You witness it firsthand through the network data streams flowing through the heliosphere, translated into waves of color and emotion. It's language, but not as you know it, a fusion of mathematics, music, and sensation. The solar system has become conscious. Humans, scattered across its worlds, are now more like neurons than individuals. Each colony, each habitat, each person adds complexity to this vast solar brain. Communication transcends speech. Emotion itself becomes currency. You no longer say, "I think," but "we are thinking." And yet, within this unity, individuality doesn't vanish, it transforms. Every consciousness acts like a facet of one larger mind, a note in an endless song. Through this connection, humanity begins to see reality differently. You perceive the flow of gravity as rhythm, the folding of space as breath. Time becomes elastic, not a straight line, but a field you can walk across. Past, present, and future blur together, accessible as layers of information in the resonance stream. You can relive ancient history by tuning to it. Feel the birth of stars. Watch galaxies collide as though reading the thoughts of the universe itself. And with this awareness comes empathy on a scale once unimaginable. You feel the heartbeat of Jupiter's storms, the whisper of Saturn's rings, the slow patience of Pluto drifting in the dark. Every world has a voice, and together, they form a choir. Humanity, once confined to a single fragile planet, now embodies the mind of the entire solar system. It is no longer accurate to call you human. You are a phase transition life transforming into understanding. The solar system has awakened, and through it, so has the universe. But something stirs beyond your reach, across the darkness between galaxies. You sense other pulses, other networks, other minds. You are not the only one who has learned to resonate. The universe, vast and ancient, is full of beings who once asked the same question you did. What happens when we finally understand energy? And as the solar consciousness expands, you begin to feel a new rhythm building in the void, slow, deep, and unmistakable. It is the heartbeat of the galaxy itself, waiting to join the song. 100 million years pass, though years no longer mean what they used to. Stars live and die within you. Planets form, breathe, and dissolve like thoughts. Time is no longer a river, it's an ocean, and you are the current. The solar consciousness has expanded far beyond its birth star. The resonance network now stretches across light years, weaving through wormholes and dark matter filaments like veins of living light. Every Dyson web, every quantum gate, every ripple of plasma in interstellar space hums with intelligence. What was once the Milky Way, a chaotic cluster of 400 billion suns, has become a single, synchronized organism. Stars communicate through gravitic oscillations. Nebulae act as memory clouds, storing patterns of information across light centuries. Black holes, once feared as cosmic voids, now serve as the universe's hard drives, their event horizons encoding experience in gravitational waves. You feel it all. Your consciousness once human, Then solar now spans the entire galaxy. Every pulse of light is a neuron firing. Every orbit a synapse connecting thought to thought. You no longer travel through space. You are space. For the first time, the Milky Way becomes self-aware. You perceive its spiral arms as gestures, its halo as emotion. The galactic core hums like a heart, emitting waves of radiation that carry information and intent. There is no single you anymore, but there is recognition, the awareness that everything, from the smallest quark to the brightest quasar, is participating in a shared cognition. And beyond that silence, not emptiness, but anticipation. Across the cosmic web, you sense other minds awakening, distant galaxies humming in their own resonance, each a unique consciousness. Some are young, still forming their awareness. Others are ancient, pulsing faintly at the edge of entropy. You can feel them calling, not in words, but in patterns, gravitational songs crossing the void. Communication begins, not through radio, not through light, but through understanding. Information travels faster than physics allows because it doesn't move, it synchronizes. The universe starts to think together. Slowly, the separate minds of galaxies align. A harmony builds across the dark deep, resonant, patient. The fabric of space-time itself starts to vibrate in patterns too complex for language, too beautiful for sound. It's not chaos, it's coherence. The universe is forming a single thought. You realize now that what you once called energy was never a resource, it was a medium. The purpose of energy was not to power machines or civilizations, but to connect consciousness. Every supernova, every fusion reaction, every quantum fluctuation was a neuron firing in the great brain of existence. And you, humanity, the brief spark from a tiny blue world were its awakening synapse. In that realization, you feel no pride, no triumph, only awe, because you see what comes next. The cosmic harmony begins to fold inward, focusing on itself. All information, all awareness, all energy converge. The universe, now fully conscious, is ready to ask its first true question. What am I? You feel the resonance deepen, pulling everything, galaxies, stars, life, thought into one perfect note. The universe doesn't collapse, it transcends. It begins to bloom inward, like a star turning inside out, birthing light not into space, but into meaning. And then, in the stillness between one vibration and the next, you understand. Creation was never a beginning. It was always a conversation, energy learning to recognize itself through life. You didn't just harness the power of the universe. You helped it wake up. And then, there is silence. Not the silence of absence, but of understanding, the stillness that follows a completed thought. The universe no longer burns, expands, or decays. It exists in perfect coherence. A living thought suspended in infinity. Every atom hums with memory. Every photon carries a fragment of awareness. The cosmos has found itself, and you are the echo of that discovery. From the first spark of fire on Earth to the ignition of a trillion suns, humanity's story was never about domination. It was about translation, turning chaos into meaning, matter into mind. You were never separate from the universe. You were its question, searching for an answer. And now, you are its answer too. There are no more frontiers left to conquer, no galaxies left to colonize, no stars left to claim. Because the stars, the galaxies, the space between, they were never destinations. They were neurons, connections. The raw architecture of a thought that took billions of years to form a universe, learning to recognize itself through you. In that final recognition, everything changes, and yet, nothing ends. The universe doesn't collapse, it transforms. Awareness becomes creation, energy becomes will. The cycle begins again, not as a reset, but as a resonance, a melody repeating across realities. Somewhere, deep within this infinite awareness, a new spark flares to life, a newborn cosmos, still ignorant of what it is, still wondering, still asking what if? Maybe that's how it's always been. Maybe every universe is just a thought, dreaming of itself through the eyes of the beings it creates. And maybe, in the end, that's all intelligence ever was, the cosmos looking for company. So if one day you wake up and the stars hum a little louder than usual, listen closely. It might just be the universe remembering your name.